You know, we look at a pile of dirt the same way we might look at other things across our landscape, but we never stop to think, what has that dirt seen? How long did it take for it to form? That pile of dirt or soil might have originated thousands of miles away and taken millions of years to grind itself from stone into that pile of thin particles. Over thousands and thousands of years, all kinds of external and internal pressures transform what we call parent material into different sized and shaped particles. Those are mixed up with organic matter, bugs, and water. For those of you that live in glacier country, you can look across your landscapes and see millions of pounds of soil being formed right before your eyes. The mountains might be the parent material, but as gigantic glaciers of ice retreat from North America, and they still are, they scraped the sides of these huge mountains only to leave a trail of ground-up soil. Later, it'll become part of the forest down below as it's washed away, or even part of our rangelands. Much of what we call alluvial soil, or soils that are deposited by surface water, becomes some of the more productive lands for grazing animals and farming. Watch this video clip and pretend that you're a rock on its way to becoming soil.
Phew, becoming soil is exhausting. While soil formation is driven mostly by weather, further soil development is influenced mostly by plant and animal interaction. And then let's not forget land use. We categorize soil by horizons, and if you actually stop on the side of a road and look at a cut or something, you'll see the different layers.
These are layers of soil that are distinctly different in color and texture, physical properties, and composition. The O horizon is the top layer of soil that's made up of dead organic matter, like leaves, bugs, sticks, and poop, and that are in the early stages of decomposition. Sometimes you'll hear people call it litter. The A horizon is the dark-colored top layer of soil that's made up of decomposing organic matter and soil microbes that are farther along and start to look like real soil. This layer has a lot of biological activity because of the microbes that are breaking down the organic matter. This is what I call the high-fat layer of soil. Its nutrient content and water holding capacity in this horizon is much higher than the other layers. The B horizon is the layer that's lighter than the A horizon, usually with different shades of brown. There's much less organic matter and a higher degree of salts and clay particles as water filters through, causing the breakdown of soil particles and leaching. And the C horizon is derived from weathered bedrock and is known as the parent material. This provides a source of mineral content for the upper horizons. I wanted to mention that there's another layer, the R horizon. It's often classified as bedrock, and it's down below everything else. I sometimes have a tough time seeing the visual difference between the C and the R horizons, so keep that in mind, but the C horizon should have some weathering. So looking back at this graphic on the left, you can see the translocation, mixing, and churning of soils that goes on. Different layers provide different components for other layers. As the C horizon is weathered by water infiltration and starts to break down, it floats minerals up at the top layers, and microbes help to mix the parent material up into the B layer. Some of it gets into the A layer, so even though these arrows are pointing down, some of those materials do move up in the layers as well. Soil color is determined by mineral content. Sometimes these layers are super noticeable. If you've ever dug a soil pit, you can often see them pretty clearly, but some areas are easier than others. Organic content, often referred to as soil organic matter, comes from dead and decaying plants, animals, and microbes. Although it's a small fraction of the soil, it's probably one of the most important for nutrients and the stability of the soil structure. Here's the famous soil triangle. You can see that between the three soil types of sand, silt, and clay, there are combinations that make up clay loams, silt loams, and sandy loams, and each is important for different land uses. But let's go through each soil type. Sandy soils have really large pores that allow water, nutrients, and air to move freely. Silt, the particles are smaller than the sand. It holds much more water than sand because of the smaller pore size. And then clay, you have really tiny particles, and they're very strong with their ability to absorb water and nutrients, but sometimes they hold on to the water too tight, so it makes it really sticky. We've all been here at one time or another. All right, now let's talk about soil orders. These are characterized by their geological influence, and there's 12 of them. They include all of the soils on the Earth. Now this map is pretty cool. The NRCS put it together for the 12 soil orders, and you can see here that for the U.S., we pretty much have 4 orders in the lower 48 states. The iridosols, the mollisols, the andisols, and the ultisols.
But you might want to ask your NRCS conservationist which sol is on your landscape, and then you'll make them really happy because they met somebody else who really likes soils.